Hey everyone, welcome to Whispers of Turkish Stars. Settle in, because what we're about to unpack has the entire celebrity world buzzing, and the echoes aren't fading anytime soon. Before we dive into every tender whisper and bold declaration, remember to subscribe to Whispers of Turkish Stars and share this video with your fellow gossip lovers, because tonight's confession changes the temperature of the whole conversation. It happened in a breath, a moment that felt like a curtain dropping mid-scene. Navruz, the leading man who has always guarded his private life like the most fragile porcelain, suddenly let the world peek into his heart. Eyes soft, voice steady, he delivered a line no one expected to hear out loud. If he ever takes that ultimate step, it will be only with Alina, the woman his heart has chosen. No hedging, no half measures, just a vow threaded with feeling. And just like that, across feeds and timelines, an entire fandom gasped. For years, Alp has carried the aura of a man who knows how to keep the spotlight squarely on the work, scripts, sets, the art of showing emotion only when the camera demands it. That's why this moment landed like thunder. Fans who memorize every nuance of his performances could hardly recognize the version of Alp who allowed such a raw, romantic sentence to escape into daylight. Those closest to him, though, say the ground under his feet has been different since the day he and Alina's paths intertwined in a way that felt destined. It wasn't dramatic at first, it was an almost invisible shift, one that insiders began to notice during long days on set and quiet pauses between interviews. He was lighter. He laughed more, in that unguarded way that isn't rehearsed. And when he spoke, even in the most routine press chats, there was a gentleness humming just beneath the surface. Meanwhile, Alina stood exactly where we've always known her to stand, in the glow of her craft, eyes forward, posture elegant, voice careful. She is the picture of a woman who chooses what to share, who knows the price of silence and the power of it. She avoids the circus, not out of fear, but out of principle. Yet the moment Alp's words took flight, that careful boundary was tested. The headlines twisted like ribbons, wrapping tight around her name. Even in her quiet, the noise found her. Suddenly the cameras wanted not just her performance but her heartbeat. And then there were the sightings, the puzzle pieces that seem innocent by themselves but form a picture when you place them edge to edge. A gala where they arrived separately but drifted toward the same constellation of friends. A private dinner with trusted faces where their smiles were warm, their body language calm, two actors aware of eyes but refusing to be actors in that moment. On social media, their exchanges were far from obvious, but fans who read between lines and emojis didn't need translation. A caption with a double meaning. A like at a curiously tender hour. A comment as soft as breath. None of it proved anything, yet it all felt like proof. Inside the circles that trade whispers like currency, the story has deepened. Those close to Alp say he doesn't treat this like a fleeting storyline or a flirtation meant to decorate a season. In private, he has called Alina the woman who changed his weather, the calm after a storm, the sun that makes everything look new. Future plans, they say, are no longer theoretical. He talks about building, about a life that feels like home. And while no one is handing out labels, the language has been serious enough to make even the most skeptical observers lean forward. Some describe it as a second chance at the idea of marriage, not a casual promise, but a deliberate, grown decision to open that door only if her hand is in his. A way of shutting out old disappointments without pretending they never existed. Online, the reaction split clean down the middle, as it always does. One chorus cheered the romance with full hearts, dazzled by the courage it takes for a man like Alp to speak from his chest instead of his resume. Another corner urged caution, reminding everyone how fragile something new can be when the world is watching with a magnifying glass. Yet, across these clashing opinions, a consensus glimmered: Alp looks different. He looks happy in a way that doesn't need to perform. There is resolve in his stance, but softness in his gaze. And in that transformation, many believe, stands Alina, unspoken, graceful, resolute. They haven't released a joint statement. Alina hasn't typed a single definitive line. Alp's words float, replaying themselves in endless edits and shares. That silence, far from silencing the story, has swollen it with anticipation. Is this his heart spilling over in a single evening? Or is it a careful opening move in something bigger, something permanent, something that might eventually echo in vows and rings and forever? That question circles like a flock of birds over every set, every comment section, every late-night conversation between fans. The resonance of Alp's declaration didn't fade after the first wave. It rolled on, picking up momentum, spinning rumors about whether his statement nodded toward a reconciliation of the private with the public, a brave alignment of the life he lives and the life he allows the world to see. Those who have watched his career from the earliest days know how rare it is to witness him frame his private world in words so certain. He has played men who conquer rooms with a glance, who guard their hearts behind quiet walls. And yet, here he is, letting the wall fall, choosing tenderness when no one asked for it, making people say, this time he isn't acting. This time it isn't a scene. People near enough to the center to feel the heat say something shifted in Alp's perspective the moment he and Alina began moving through the same orbits with intention. The restlessness that sometimes trailed him and the press vanished. He began to carry himself like a man who sleeps well, who knows what he does and does not want. Co-stars who were used to his discipline noticed the difference in small, telling ways, the patience between takes, the way he listened more than he spoke, the quiet smiles that didn't seem to need an audience. He has looked, lately, like a man with a plan. And still, Alina remains anchored in her dignity. She is the one who always keeps the work front and center, the one who doesn't let the flashbulbs dictate the story of her life. She has not fed the rumor mill with a single explosive line. If a response comes, those who understand her know it will come on her schedule, in her words, without performance. Even so, the trail of nearly sightings continues. A film event where they stood across the room but shared the same easy smile with mutual friends. A private celebration where someone swore they heard their laughter overlapping. Interviews where each has been asked about the other and delivered answers that were careful yet kind. Evasive without being cold, respectful without overpromising. All of it adds up, whether they want it to or not. If you're counting headlines, Alp's name has been everywhere, beleaguered by speculation, buoyed by admiration, and anchored by that single, shimmering promise he put into the air. It was the day he reached up and pulled down the barrier between his heart and the world. And the effect was immediate. The romance rumors didn't just grow, they matured. The narrative shifted from playful guessing to a serious conversation about timing, intention, and the fragile line between confession and commitment. Industry observers whisper that the first time they truly collided, not just professionally but soul to soul, it was subtler than any grand romantic reveal. The intensity arrived afterward, in the quiet weeks. He started speaking in a warmer register in interviews. He started greeting crew members by name with a lightness that made days go faster. She continued to work, to study, to build, as if none of this noise could throw her off. But that's the thing about gravity. It does its work whether you acknowledge it or not. The more their names traveled together, the more inevitable the pairing felt to those who pay attention in the shadows. No one can say for sure what will happen next, and maybe that's why the energy feels electric. A declaration like Alp's doesn't arrive without a reason, and it doesn't fade without an answer. The public may be impatient, but patience is precisely what this kind of story demands. The past has taught them both that love becomes stronger when it is protected, not paraded. If there is a next step coming, whether it's a red carpet arrival hand in hand or a carefully worded joint message, it will come only when they want it to, when the moment belongs to them and not to the headlines. Until then, the signs keep stacking. Friends who were once tight-lipped now smile with their eyes when asked. People who have watched these two in quiet rooms say there's a stillness when they stand near each other, the kind that makes everything louder outside the circle and everything gentle within it. That stillness tells a story, if you're willing to hear it, of two people holding something precious, refusing to rush, refusing to crack it open before it's ready. It's not a refusal born of fear, it is born of respect. So the world waits. It waits on doorsteps outside studios. It waits in the spaces beneath their posts. It waits in comment sections where fans write essays and poems, where caution and hope talk to each other in alternating paragraphs. And in that waiting, something beautiful happens. People begin to remember that love is not content, it is a choice, a practice, and sometimes, a promise spoken in the simplest possible words. We're not done watching this unfold, not by a long shot. When will Alina answer, if she chooses to answer at all? Will her reply be a smile at a premiere, a hand resting on a forearm, a look that says more than any statement ever could? Or will it be a sentence, crafted and clean, that sets the course? No matter what shape it takes, the weight of Alp's confession guarantees that whatever comes next will feel consequential. This isn't just another page in the gossip cycle. This is a hinge moment, a turning point that could redirect both of their personal maps. And as always, Whispers of Turkish Stars will be here, listening at the edges and bringing you the story with heart. If you felt the shift in the air, if you've seen the light in Alp's eyes and the quiet power of Alina's grace, you know this isn't noise. It's a melody finding its chorus. So keep your notifications on, keep your hearts open, and keep watching the spaces where truth loves to slip through. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the most tender talk of the town, don't forget to subscribe to Whispers of Turkish Stars and share this video with the friend who always sends you the first headline. The next chapter could land at any moment, and when it does, you'll want to be here, with us, ready to catch every beautiful word.